So, but it was exciting because this year, first prize was a crippling case of imposter syndrome. Got that going for me. Just curled into a blanket with the blinds closed going, I can never do comedy again now, or they'll know I'm a fraud. Makes me think about a lot of love. I'm going to take that laugh, but I'm not going to know why. It was a strange contest, because I don't know, I just want love, you know. And I realize now you don't get love from comedians by being the guy who won the contest. You get love from comedians by being the guy who should have won but didn't. And I realize that's kind of behind the scenes for you, but so if you've never been to a comedy contest and don't understand how it works, you are not alone. Basically, a whole bunch of people go up and tell jokes, and then at the end, a radio guy points and goes, that guy won. Sometimes he points to a gal to mix it up. Not often. Used to be not at all, really. That's what makes me think of. I saw one of the first women comedians who really did really well at the contest. Like, she was a groundbreaker like 20 years ago. Her name was Kathleen, and that was really good to see her again. Because before, in the before times, there was like a glass ceiling for women in comedy. That kept the men and the women apart, and that was terrible because only one side of that glass ceiling was ever clean. The men didn't even know we had a glass ceiling. We thought we had a cigarette butt covered floor with cum rags and things. And we'd just stand around wondering where all the women were. Just hypothesizing and mantificating about why there were no women in comedy. And we came up with really stupid ideas, I'll tell you that. One of them was that, women had too much dignity and self-respect and good sense to pack themselves into a dirty, filthy, broken down car for 2 days to do 15 minutes in Grand Prairie. And it turns out that is not true. We're so idiots, we're so ignorant. We're like, what do women know about unpaid labor? What's she gonna do the first time she gets interrupted by a drunk who thinks he's helping? I'm just doing a favor. That's not the weirdest one. The weirdest one was a guy named Frank Smokes, he called himself. We called him Frank the Virgin.
Why?
Well, why? Well, it's to, so we could tell the difference between him and Dan the Virgin. Confuse them. His theory was, and get this, cats, his theory was that the reason women weren't successful in comedy is because women's voices sounded shrill and unpleasant going through a microphone. Which is a stupid reason, because if that was true, there would be no glass ceiling, because then the women could just go, ah! And it would shatter. It is stupid. But that's when Kathleen came along and broke the glass ceiling for women, so you should all be very happy for her. She just came through that ceiling with cigarette butts and broken glass in her hair and cum on her face. Not from the glass ceiling, just that's the way she likes to live her life, but... unapologetically. And it said